What's going on, you guys? Today we're learning the song Skinny by Kaleo. Now, real quick before we get into it, I would like to ask that if you find this guitar tutorial helpful, that you please consider subscribing. That would really mean the world to me. Now let's get into it. You are watching Logan's Lessons. This song starts with a B minor chord. We're going to put our first finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, our 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the D string, our pinky on the 4th fret of the G string, and our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. After the B minor, we go to a G major chord. To play a G major chord, we're going to place our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string, then our first finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, our 3rd finger way down here on the 3rd fret of the B string, and our pinky finger on the 3rd fret of the high E string. After the G, we go to a D major chord. To play a D major chord, we're going to place our first finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, our 3rd finger, our ring finger, on the 3rd fret of the B string, and our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the high E. And the last chord, this is the spicy chord, we get an F sharp 7. To play an F sharp 7, we're going to bar our first finger across all of the strings on the 2nd fret. Then our 3rd finger comes over here to the 4th fret of the A string. And lastly, we have our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the G string. So we have this B minor, G major, D major, to F sharp major, 7. Now let's talk about the strumming pattern. The strumming pattern for the verses is going to start with just a root note. You play, in the case of the B minor chord, the A string. Then you strum the rest of the strings. We go over to the G major chord, play the root note twice, which in the G major chord's case is the low E string. Go to the D major, it's the same thing as the B minor, but the root note is now the D string. Then the F sharp major 7 is the same as the G major chord. So this. And that repeats. After that, we get into the chorus. The chorus is going to be all power chords, but we have the same chord progression. So we start on a B power chord, the first finger being on the 7th fret of the low E string, the 3rd finger on the 9th fret of the A, and your pinky finger on the 9th fret of the D string. Just down, 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 then we go down, we just slide this chord down so that our first finger is on the 3rd fret of the low E string. Come up to a D5, which is going to be with your first finger on the 5th fret of the A string, your 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the D, and your pinky on the 7th fret of the G. Then we go to an F sharp 5, which is like the 2nd chord just slid down a fret. So first finger on the 2nd fret of your low E string, your 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the A string, and your pinky on the 4th fret of the D. So this like. Now you do that chord progression 3 times and then we're into the tag. The tag is going to go to the F sharp 7 chord and you're going to play it down like this. I believe that's 16 times. So the entire chorus will sound like this. After that, we have a post-chorus, which is the same chord progression and strumming pattern as the chorus. You just go through it twice. And then you're into the 2nd verse. Now, I would recommend changing it up for the 2nd verse. You're going to have the same chord progression as the chorus, but this time we're going to palm mute it. By palm muting, I mean put the side of your palm down on the strings lightly so you get this chunky sound. you do that until we get into the second chorus, and the second chorus changes just slightly. You start the same. But here on the third time through, we go through the B like normal. And on the G, so the third fret power chord, you just hit it once and you pause for a second, then the D, so F sharp, and everything. After that stays the same. That drops you into the solo. The solo starts with our third finger on the 9th fret of the G string and our pinky finger on the 10th fret of the B. You start by bending the third finger on the 9th fret of the G string up a whole step. And then you play the B string with, just pick that upwards. And then you play the G string again and bend it back down. You do that twice. Okay, do that with me. Then right after that second time through, you hit the pinky finger on the B string again, and you slide it up to the 12th fret, up to the 15th. So, then right here, we bend the 17th fret of our B string up. So we have, then you bend it up again and slide it back down that time. So you have a, and then you hit the 15th fret with your first finger. So you have this. Do that with me. Then right here we put our third finger on the 17th fret of the high E string. And then with our middle finger, we hit the 17th fret of the B string. Bend that up. So you have, then we hit the high E string on the 17th fret again, and you bend the B string up and back down. So you have this. Then you do that again. So we have, then right here, what we do is we hammer on from the 15th fret up to the 17th fret on the B string. So, do that with me. Now in contact. Then right here we have a really fun part. We hit the 15th fret of the B string one time with our middle finger, then the 16th fret of the G with our third finger. So, and you hit the G string, the 16th fret of the G string twice. Then we go down to the 14th fret. So, then up to the 16th fret, down to the 14th fret of the G string, and then the 15th fret of the B string one more time. So, I'll do that again slowly. Okay, a little faster. One more time. So in context, we have this. Then we get into the part of the solo that feels more like a jam. So he's kind of, it feels like he's more improvising here, but I'll show you kind of exactly what's played on the record. Do with it what you will. After a little pause, we slide up from the 15th fret of the B string up to the 17th fret. And then you pick up and you hit the 15th fret one more time. And then you slide up to the 17th fret from the 15th fret again. And then you have a very quick 15th fret. So you have like that. Do that with me. Then you pause again, you wait for a second, and then you slide from the 17th fret up to the 19th fret. Down to the 17th fret again. And then what we do here is we hammer on from the 15th up to the 17th. And then you hammer on from the 15th to the 17th again, pulling back off to the 15th, and then we hit the 16th fret of the G string. So this piece will sound like this. And then right here, we hit the 19th fret of the B string and slide down from the 18th fret of the G down to the 16th. So you have this like... Okay, so in context we have this. Then right here what he does is he hits the 17th fret of the high E string and then bends up the 17th fret of the B string. Then right here we have this little walk down, and this is the next part of the solo that's really solid. You hit the 19th fret of your high E string, and each of these gets a down, up, down. Then you hit the 18th fret of your high E. So you have this like... Then you hit the 15th fret of your high E, and the interval between, like the interval of time between the notes is gonna get shorter here. The first one, it's like a whole beat. Then here we have this like from the 15th fret down to the 14th fret. Then the 17th fret of the B, the 15th fret of the B, the 14th fret of the B, to the 12th fret. Do you have this? Cool, so now I'm gonna play the whole solo for you. Feel free to play along with me. And that is how you play Skinny. If you have a song request, comment it or DM me. If you wish to be notified of future videos, hit that bell. I sincerely hope that you are well. Please do me a favor and hit that like button blue. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe too. I hope this video has been a blessing. You've been watching Logan's Lessons.